At the state capitol, the budget season is in full swing.
It sure is. Republican legislative leaders and Governor Tony Evers met twice yesterday to talk about how to spend your tax dollars. Joining us now to talk about what all of those talks and where they stand is our political editor, contributor, Brandon Schultz.
Easy peasy, right?
Easy peasy.
This is not a big, we'll just get this done like that.
You've been walking us through this for a while now, so what have you got?
Well, we did. We started out with here's how the budget works, but then we kind of took a 2-week break. Not we, but they took a 2-week break because they really couldn't agree to much of anything. So what we've seen yesterday, what you just said, is that Republican leadership, both Speaker Voss and Majority Leader met with the governor. There was a second meeting where the co-chairs, the Republican co-chairs, met with the governor. They talked about issues. They tried to find some common ground, which is good because they've got to start moving. Some of the things they talked about, Republicans want a tax cut. They want to do it outside the budget. The governor says, I want it in the budget and targeted here. Governor says, I need education fully funded. So they've kind of put some issues on the table to kind of discuss it. As they say finally in the legislature, if you're not at the table discussing this, you're on the menu. And you don't want to be in the menu because then you'll get et. So the good news is, the Republican leaders and the governor have met, and they've tried to work things out. Now, there's some things coming down the road that they've got to figure out. We're going to talk about a couple things in the budget. One is this week the transportation leaders, both legislators and others, met to talk about what they could do with the state budget. Remember, the transportation budget is the 5th largest budget we have in the state. It's $8.5 billion. But people probably don't realize that most of it's funded by their tax dollars. It's also funded by the gas tax, which is about 38 cents or so. So they either raise the gas tax or they find some more money to pay for the budget. That's not going to be easy to do. It's going to be hard to do. The other problem they have is to figure out what's going to happen with the federal budget that has cut some money for Medicaid, Badger Care, SNAP, and those sorts of things, how that will impact Wisconsin.
And what other things are they trying to cut deals on? I mean, everything and anything, but
everything's a deal.
Where can we actually talk about it at this point?
Well, so in joint finance, as these things start to come about and people get an agreement, they will bring those up as each agency is brought up. So they will bring up the Department of Transportation, say, okay, this is what the governor wants. This is how much we think we need. Here's our options, our alternatives. Can we raise taxes? Are we going to raise the gas tax? That hasn't been raised since 2006.
Wow.
So the likelihood of saying, you want to pay more money for your gas? It's probably not going to happen. But while all that is going on, there's still a ton left. And somebody will put a graphic up on the screen that shows all the other bills that have been introduced. Now, we know that 300 bills have been introduced in the Assembly and the Senate, but we also know that those bills don't necessarily stick to one issue. So what we see in here, these are 40 keywords that I put up and searched for all the bills that dealt with these issues. So for broadband, I found 8 bills that one way or another dealt with broadband, and they've had 4 hearings on it. But look at what we have highlighted in yellow. Children, crime, education, employment, healthcare, and labor. Those are what we call the quality of life issues. Because let's say you're moving to Wisconsin, or you're trying to figure out where you want to go, or what you want to do. Those are things that people key off of. What's it, schools? What's education like? What's crime like in that neighborhood, in that city? How about job opportunities? How about transportation? Is there public transportation? So all of those things are there. There are over, so of these 40 keywords, almost 1,400 bills direct have some contact to all of these 40 different issues.
That's
just the
a lot.
And over almost 500 hearings. So that's what's going on while the budget's going on. And the legislature's working full time to get all these. And remember, this is based on kind of 300 bills in the Assembly and the Senate. By the time we're done next year, when we're here in March next year, about 2,000, 3,000 bills will have been introduced by that time. Not all of them will have hearings, but they will all be somewhere in here where the legislature has dealt with them one way or another. Final note, if listeners have an issue with the budget, they need to call their legislator and tell them, I'm for it, I'm against it, I have a question, I have a problem. Because if they don't, people in the legislature won't know what they're thinking.
Very smart advice.
As usual, thanks for being on with us.
Great to be here.
Wish we had more time always. Thank you, Brandon.